Hey, quick video here. So the nettle was a bit of a challenging plant to work with. So a lot of things went wrong from the first moment working with this plant. Even though I found workarounds, I gotta say, I made a lot of mistakes in this recording also. So if you're wondering why the audio quality, the sound quality of Tash's microphone doesn't sound so great, that's on me. Let's not get into details. I fucked up quite a bit. Nettle helped me to work around that, and I found a solution. But yeah, Tash's not gonna sound that great in that episode. But hey, I'm gonna sound amazing. So enjoy the Nettle with me, Tash, Alexis.
Welcome to Herby at Heart, where herbalism grows in the roots of our hearts. An intrinsic journey where we dwell in the deep and expand the narrow. As always, staring your favorite herbalist, Tash, found her on Instagram on Avant-Garden Live, and me, Phil. Find me at Power Plants Berlin. And today we have a special episode, but first of all, we want to present you our new beautiful studio with all the beautiful herbs of Tash and a bit of mine somewhere. At least my energy is here. No, so we are sending from Tash's workshop, from Tash's studio, where she's working with her herbs and plants and all the beautiful things. And some of our audience, some of you have been here before at Moos. So we're very, very happy
Nourished Berlin.
Nourished Berlin, of course. We're very happy to be here because it's a beautiful environment and the next step on our podcast journey where we want to invite you. And today, what we're going to talk about?
Oh, today, yes, yeah. We've had a little break, haven't we? I just feel like I'm a bit of a break.
Yeah. Should we talk about that first, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Because we did a decision because we had a big break happening.
Because we're adults.
We're adults.
And we can.
We're making adults decisions.
Yeah.
Like eating as much candy as we would like.
Yeah.
Or not. Chocolate. Like I'm fasting at the moment.
Yeah,
so.
the fasting. I'm eating lots of chocolate.
A very adult decision. Yeah. But that's not what we want to talk about. We want to talk about that we're actually like breaking Herby at Heart in half.
Sounds terrible.
It sounds terrible. It's not so bad. No, we're not going to do a solo project. Tash is not going to go on a solo tour without me.
Never, darling.
No, actually, we realized that we cannot do a plant proving every month anymore. We did this for over a year. And we suffered the consequences. It was a beautiful journey, a beautiful experience. I would never want to miss it. And yet it was a bit hard on our system, on our energy level, on our health in general, because we really dig deep in the plants and we really get in touch with a lot of like opening
a lot of energies.
A lot of energies. And we have to live our life also. Like it's too much. It's too much.
Destroyed our lives.
Yes.
No, it didn't really, but it took us on. It improved it. It took us on many journeys, maybe a little too quick.
Yes,
I think that was more the issue.
Yeah, it made us stronger.
It made us stronger,
yet
weaker, all at the same time.
It is actually true, yeah. And I think it's now we making this really adult decision to say we're bringing out an episode every month, but only every second month is gonna be an episode with a plant proving.
Yeah.
And the other ones are going to be surprises. So be waiting for that. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
And
More about self-care, actually, isn't it? More about realizing that we're pushers, me and Phil. We love to push boundaries, but sometimes it's good not to push the boundaries.
Yeah.
And to take some time out. Yeah. So that was the decision we made, and here we are.
Yeah, I think Amanita pushed us a lot towards that. Like,
yes,
forced us to take time, canceled an episode, and and so on. Like, and now it's like, oh yeah, okay, maybe it's good to calm down, relax the nervous system a little bit more. It's a very Amanita move.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And so, what have we chosen? We're coming out with a bang, and a sting, and a heated, fiery energy.
Very fiery energy.
Because that's just how we roll.
And it's the year of the fire horse. So we
And
have
we're in Aries.
we have the New Year's. It's Aries. It's April, so it's a
Mars.
time for fire. We need some Mars energy to get ourselves out there in springtime, and we are providing you with that Mars energy this episode.
Yeah. So here we have the beautiful Nettle. Yeah,
Stingy.
Huh?
So stingy.
It is a bit stingy. It's even stingy when it's dry. So we're going to do Nettle this episode. We're very excited. Yeah, I couldn't work so long with it, but because it's too hot for me. Mm-hmm. But I did. We delved, I think, quite a bit into it. We have some different methods. We will talk about that through the show. And we have an amazing interview. We've been waiting to interview. It's a colleague and a friend, Alexis from Edible Alchemy. So she will be sharing her thoughts on fermentation and the lovely nettle. And I brought a little quote from Elisabeth Brooke. I love her work. We've interviewed her actually last year, in September or something. You can go back, listen to the episode.
Yeah, for Rowan. Episode,
yeah. And she's an amazing woman, has beautiful books. And this is something that I found in one of hers, a little quote about the nettle. Nettle is a plant for a witch's tool bag. Drink it, grow it, burn it as incense. May patriarchy fall. Yeah.
Such a catharsis. Okay.
That felt very cathartic.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And with that energy, we're going to push you right into the first song.
Yes.
That's going to be The Stinging Nettle by Pete Moss.
Welcome back. We hope that brought you into the nettle vibe.
Ow, ow, yum, yum, yum.
Hit my shins. So, the stinging nettle as it rises like a quiet warming along forgotten paths, its jagged leaves trembling with a secret fire. Touch it, and it answers not in anger, but in memory, a sharp whisper against the skin that lingers longer than the moment. Yet beneath its sting lives a stubborn grace, roots gripping the earth with quiet resolve, offering healing to those who understand its language. It is a plant of contradictions, fierce and tender, wild yet purposeful, reminding us that even what wounds you can also nourish and restore you.
Beautiful.
So, tell the audience about your nettle adventures.
My nettle adventures. So, I was spending some time with the nettle, but to be honest, I wasn't spending as much as I'd like to have, because at the moment I'm doing a detox, and I already have so many plants in a tea mix. The people who are reading my newsletter, you got the recipe of the tea mix that I'm using, that it's working on my renal system. And I started that before even doing the proving of the nettle. So when I added the nettle, I didn't come off the toilet. I was like peeing nonstop. So peeing nonstop is a theme working with the nettle. And but it's not the first time that I have been working with it. So, and my experience from it, and actually this time as well, is that it gives me this, stingy warrior energy. I had a little bit of like struggles in my private life with some topics that I needed to work on, and like some strong boundaries that needed to be set with some people, and the nettle really helps me there. Like, it's an amazing plant for that. Like, it is a very strong boundary plant. I mean, if you go out with a nettle, you have these little hairs. Yeah. And the signature is like things that sting. Normally you can eat. There's not a lot of example in nature that are like very stingy that you cannot eat. Like most of the rose family, they're like stingy plants and you can eat them. Maybe stramonium, datura stramonium is something that you shouldn't eat. Like the
still can eat it.
Once,
not sure if you're too much of it.
Yes, yeah. Like that would be an example that you really shouldn't eat.
Actually, you can't eat.
Like a nightshade, very toxic nightshade. But most of the things that are like stingy, they are edible. Like whenever you find a thorn, there's most of the time, almost every time, there's an edible plant behind it. So that's the same with nettle. It is an edible plant. It's a very edible plant. Like it's a very yummy plant. Ouch, ouch, yum, 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 as we just found out. And I remember all the times when we had the garden in the Uckermark and you provided me with some nettle broth or nettle eggs and all these kind of things. Like for that, it is, I love it. I love the taste of it. I love the smell of it. And yeah, I use it in a way when I'm not embodied in myself. It's, I think, the most direct approach that you can have with a nettle is like by touch. You don't even need to ingest it.
Yep.
And whenever you are like flying high in the sky and a little bit not grounded, which can happen in springtime. We had the thing with like groundlessness and springtime shooting in the very beginning of our podcast.
First episode.
And the nettle is an amazing plant for that, to help you ground. And in Northern Europe, like the Finns and in Norway, like they're using it to hit themselves with nettles, right? After the sauna. They do it also with the birch, but also with nettles. They collect the nettles and you hit yourself until it like really get an allergic reaction, but it helps you get into the body, because if you are in pain, you come in the here and now, as the famous, what's his name? Eckhart Tolle would say. It's about the here and now. So what plant can help you better than the nettle to get in the here and now? I think for me, that's these are like the biggest experience that I have then with the nettle. The first is like the energy, the fiery energy that's providing you to set boundaries. It's like, touch me and I sting you. You know, it has this little hairs that are actually like little needles, and they give you these toxic albumins, they call actually, into the blood, that are very similar to wasp poison. So they are poisoning you, and that creates like this histaminic reaction, and like you get this all allergy thingy. And for people that are a little bit like weak-minded, like I can be from time to time, this is an amazing plant to use. So for me, it's very helpful in that way of creating a strong boundary and working with my boundaries. And at the same time, it helps you it helped me to bring down my energy back to the ground. Whenever I feel ungrounded, I can work with the nettle, either touch it, then I'm directly here, like, but there's gentler ways than like burning yourself, which is ingest it as a tincture, make some broth, make some eggs, put it in the salad, but not fresh. Like heat it. You like it raw?
Some people roll it, like then they do it with a rolling pin, and then they put it. It still can sometimes have a little stings.
I don't like that. I don't want stings in my throat. Yeah. I'd rather like put it in hot water for a little bit and like cook it.
Yeah, I generally do that as well.
Yeah,
I don't eat it raw, but I know lots of people that do that.
Rather use it as spinach or something. I really prefer that. And then it's like you can use it for that, of course. And the whole plant, the roots, the seeds, the leaves. I mostly use the leaves and the roots, the roots in tea recipes also. And there has been recent studies about the yellow roots. When they're very young and you take out the yellow roots, and they're working on the glands, the prostata glands for the males.
Yeah, that's how I know it to be used. The roots
that have problems like with like enlarging prostata, and when you're older and you can't pee as well, and like it's bringing out the pee, but also it like helps to reduce the prostatic cell
regeneration.
No, Teilung. It's like when they're cell splitting. I don't know the English word. Zellteilung. So growth. Like growth, like for like as precancerosis on this kind of things, and it helps to it forbids the testosterone to be transformed to estrogen. So I kind of want to try to use the nettle root for working in the gym, to be honest, and see if I can make some benefits with that, because I read about like the way the yellow roots are working, and they help to the testosterone to stay and not become estrogens, which is like a normal process that's happening, and like it becomes slower and reduces it. So I wonder if I can like build some muscles with the nettle.
How would you use what form would you take it in?
Tincture.
Do a tincture.
Nettle root.
I feel like I just had a vibe with like a hydrosol. Like spraying yourself, or like a spray in the mouth or something. Spray out your bum.
Spray my bum.
On the prostate's a double whammy.
We did this beautiful hydrosol. We just distilled it last week with a nettle, and I have been using it on my hair.
Yeah, how's your hair feeling?
I mean, it's not just how it feels; it looks amazing.
It does. It looks amazing. I'm a bit scared to use it on my hair because I have already too much hair. Yeah. But I did use a bit on my hair as well.
Yeah.
Did you notice with the hydrosol how fucking hot it is? And you said that after we distilled it. You even mentioned that. I remember you put it, and then you put it on your face, and you're like, oh, is that hot? And then now I've tested it out every day, and it's like immediately, it's super fascinating, because usually those hydrosols are quite cooling.
Yeah.
And yeah, I tried it also. I put it on there, and then I was like, oh, that was a bad idea, because I'm already, as you can see, hot-headed. Yeah. So maybe it wasn't such a good idea, but then I tried it on the hair as well.
Maybe for hands, if people have cold hands and feet, that's something. My partner, she has always like cold hands and feet. Maybe I can give her a little bit to try that out.
I would love to know, because I was thinking also like people get cold kidneys.
True.
You know, because lots of people, they get quite cold down here. How that would be to put the hydrosol there. We did do a whole plant hydrosol, so we did the roots, the seeds, and the leaf all in one. And we had quite a funny experience with it.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah, we forgot to turn the water on, and then went and ate, and it literally just was so hot. Yeah. It basically, distilled super, super hot, which was quite fascinating.
Yeah, very interesting, because normally, so for you who don't know, there's a cooling system in the distill, like the cold water's running through the copper system, like to reduce the temperature of the hydrosol and the etheric oils that are coming out the spirit like pipe there. And normally it doesn't come out as fast if it's too hot, and that's why you need to cool it down. And we forgot the cooling system to turn it on.
Yeah.
And still it like poured out, and the copper heated to an amount of the distill that we never had before also. Like,
no.
We never had a distillation that got as hot as this one. It's really crazy.
Was like, it was purple.
It was purple.
The actual bottom of the distill was like this purple, almost black color.
Glowing, yeah.
And when I opened it, because I did forget to take a picture, but when I opened it, inside was black.
Wow. So it really burned.
Like it burned. I could get all that off, but it's like it burned. But then only of the plant matter, it was the tiniest bit at the bottom that had burnt, and the rest was fine. And it was really interesting. It's like almost there was so much heat coming from below that it kind of, went to this sort of black. And the hydrosol doesn't smell super burnt.
No.
I'm not finding it.
No, it smells plantish, greenish.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
And it's a nice but yeah, that was an interesting
it fits completely this energy. Like
it's really hot. Actually, even when I smell it now, it's really, I have to say, I've been smelling it the last few days since we did it, and I get quite bad hay fever at this time because of the birch. And I have to say, my nasal passages, my hay fever hasn't been as bad. I mean, I use Nettle anyway at this time of year, usually an oxymeal, which I'm also taking. But I feel like using all this Nettle, it's really not, there's something a lot more softer about it. I mean, people use it for that. But it's quite interesting, the different things. Oh, that's just made me hot even smelling it. I can feel like how it's just heating me up.
It's a very heatful plant. And you just told us that you couldn't take it too long also because it was too hot for you, right?
Yeah, also because a little bit like you, I needed a bit of a break, to be honest. And then I had some other things and then my hay fever, and then I was doing some other herbs. I probably took it for only maybe 10 days, the tincture. And then I just realized this morning I have a flower essence, so I took that this morning. But I was eating it quite a bit and playing with it. And then I was out at that retreat, and so I could pick it a lot. And I did the hitting, which I've done before, but I did the hitting on my wrist just because I like to test that stuff again out. And I came up in the biggest welts on my wrist. Okay. And I sort of had this theory about it that maybe when you really need it in a spot, then it really inflames. Mm-hmm. Like it's almost like I would have loved to have tested it somewhere where I didn't have an issue on the body to see if the welts were not as big there. Yeah. But it really felt like it really went into my wrist, and then it was like they were huge. I was at this retreat and all of a sudden someone was like, "What is that on your wrist?" And I go, "Yeah, I just hit myself with Nettle," which they thought was a bit weird. But we didn't think that was weird.
Amateurs.
No. Huh?
Amateurs.
Amateurs, bloody tourists. These are bloody tourists. Bloody tourists. Amateurs, yeah. So that was an interesting experience with the hand. I have tried on other body parts before.
And that is your weak spot when it comes to like rheumatic disease, like, yes. Right? So that is, makes sense. And that's how you use it actually. Like whenever there's like rheumatic arthritis, anything of that kind,
you can use it for
totally
that.
Can like hit it up.
I found this old Roman recipe. Mm-hmm. And they say it's like Roman, also gypsies. Also, it's very old recipe, and you get it and hit it on the spot until it's like super inflamed, and then you get a cloth of like just a cotton cloth. You put it in vinegar, and then you lay it over the thing, and then you repeat this. Mm-hmm. And I found it also in Elisabeth Brooke's books, but I found it in a few other books, also from Rosemary Gladstar, and another one, I can't remember exactly which one it was now, but another book. So it seems like it's a bit of a thing that you could do, and people don't do it now, but I think I would love to test it one day on my wrist to see doing that over a few hours or over a few days.
Yeah,
how that would be.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, to be honest, I kind of since last year I didn't forage too much because I was too busy like doing other things. I didn't go out as much as I wanted. Now I have a garden again. I'm looking forward for the external uses way more, because I don't buy nettle like if I don't forage it, I buy it from the pharmacy for teas. And I wouldn't use that for external use. I would like use fresh leaves. So I haven't been doing that in a while, and I'm curious to test it on some of my body parts to see if it can do some changes.
Yeah, it's especially this spring nettle at the moment. I think sometimes if you go into certain patches, will be more pricklier than others. And if you get I found a real prickly patch, and then it was just like, I only hit it once, and those welts were quite extraordinary.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the spring nettle, because I really like, you can see it a little bit here on the leaves. They have this reddish color on them, right? And the very young leaves of the nettle, they actually have like a deep red inside of them, and I found it beautiful as a signature already. It has the Mars signature. Like Mars is always like connected to blood, connected to iron, connected to the color red, like this warrior energy. That's like typical Martian energy, and we find it in the nettle, in the leaves. We find it with the stings. We find it with the color of the leaves, which I found beautiful, and it is full of iron. Like, and iron is the most important part of our hemoglobin, so it's like very important to our blood flow, to our blood building, and that's always related to like a Martian energy. So things that have to do with blood and like blood detox, that's how we use this plant. And obviously it is a Martian plant, and they knew it like centuries ago, millennia ago, combining that to this Martian energy. And they didn't know that it was full of iron. That's something we found out later. Like it has like almost 3 to 5% of iron in the ash, is what they say in the mineral ash. So that's a lot. I'm not sure if that's actually true, because that would mean you could like put a magnet in the ash and it would like come up. But
Yeah, right.
yeah, but it is a very, very beautiful natural source to provide you with iron if you suffer from anemia, anything like that. It is actually very, very helpful.
Yeah, it's great for pregnant women, great after pregnancy.
Yes.
Heavy bleedings.
Yeah.
Also stops bleeding. That's what's quite interesting with it. It's got a lot to do with the blood. Cleanse the blood. Yeah, it's a lovely. I haven't tried it with actually the bleeding thing before, like just stopping the bleeding. I think I'd like to try that this year. I want to make a salve. I never made a salve with it.
Oh, me neither, actually. I never put it in oil or anything.
No, I don't know why I've never thought to do that. It's actually quite common to make salves with it for, what do you think it could be for? Stings and itchy rashes.
Yeah, surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise, the nettle.
I mean, I think the reason why we don't do all of the things that are possible with the nettle is because it's such a manifold plant. Like, you can use it in so many freaking ways that it's crazy. It's like the plant of the centuries. Like, I think some natural Vater Künzli, this guy from Switzerland, I think, or Holland, I think, he said, if the nettle didn't have stings, it would have been extinct by the human because of the many forms you can use it for.
Many uses.
Yeah, you can use it. It's such a powerful plant. It, like we talked about, like that it's good for the hair, right? Like the seeds are like power bombs. It's full of vitamin. It's full of iron. They give you energy. You can use the seeds. You can eat them. They have this beautiful nutty taste. You can just put them in your cornflakes, salad, or whatever. They're very strong. They are amazing for the hair. They used to give seeds and nettles to the horses whenever they try to sell the horses, because after eating the nettles, like, the hair becomes shiny and beautiful, and the same is happening for us. One of the many uses, and one of the signatures that I really love is like the stone breaking of plants like nettle or Taraxacum dandelion.
Yeah.
When you see them outside and you walk around and there's a little wall or something, or there's like a little on the ground and the stones are breaking and the nettles or the dandelions, they're coming through. And I love the signature about that is like stone breaking plants are breaking stones in your body. Kidney stones, bladder stones. Whenever there's like a stone in your urogenital system, that's perfect use for the nettle. You can perfectly use it for that, like everything cleansing out and even breaking stones when they're not too big. Like a beautiful use of that.
Yeah, it's a lovely lot. What did I want to say on that? It doesn't get used for all the things that, like, it's not, like you said, not used. We're not using it, or lots of people aren't using it enough. And I think that comes to a little bit about this exoticness. People, maybe we talk about this a bit sometimes, but people they want plants that aren't here, or they want things that are out of their grasp. And when there's too much of something, then people either get bored with that, or they think that it's not useful, or that it's not special enough. And I think nettle's a really good example of a plant that is really everywhere and grows quite a lot of the year, and you can use it for so much. In saying that, you do have to be a little bit careful with this heat, because, and I was also reading about like people with high blood pressure, just this heat, and because it works so much on the blood, that you do also have to be wary, even though it's a plant or a weed that's a weed that people is just growing, that it's growing everywhere. You still need to be aware and make sure that you're maybe not using too much, or listen to your body and test it out first. Some people do have problems with histamine, and then they might be a bit allergic to it. So I always think try little bits, but give it a go. Even if it does sting you a little bit, pick it with some scissors.
Yeah, if you have histamine problems, use it as a tincture, as a tea. Like, the amounts of histamine there, really, I never saw a case of triggering an allergy with internal use of tea in a therapeutic amount. And then we're talking like 30 grams on like 4 to 6 weeks, right? So like not a lot.
Or also try a little bit first. Try a bit and see how your body likes it.
Yeah, exactly.
I can be a bit adverse to nettle, my body, but I did have to push it a little bit in the beginning, I do have to say. And really, it was a bit of a fight to get there, which we've had a bit with the nettle this episode. Everything's been a little bit like pushed and shoved and moved, and we've had like these situations. But somehow, and this is something that Nettle taught me, somehow I was not fazed by it. Nothing seemed to stress me out. Like none of the things, or even the last times when things was happening, I was maybe concerned or maybe other feelings, but at never at a point for me did I feel like I was stressed. All I thought and felt is, it's going to be okay. That's all right. We've got to fight sometimes to get what we want. And sometimes we've got to push to get what we want, and we've just got to keep on moving along to get what we want. And I feel like that's something that Nettle, this time that I've worked with it, has really taught me. Like it's okay to maybe move a bit slower or be an hour later than we previously were thinking that we were going to do something, or that the thing didn't get put on, or there's so many examples I have in the last few weeks that have happened.
It's true. A lot of things were like going weird, and then there will be ways around it that you couldn't expect, like you didn't expect before. Yeah. And it's still working out. Yeah.
Yeah. And almost being okay with that, And I think that reflects a little bit also on the thing in Australia. I got stuck in Australia, and just being kind of okay with the unknown. Mm-hmm. Like this unknown, and trusting that you're going to come up with boundaries, and you're going to come up with the stings and the hurts and the issues in life. But if you kind of just sit with yourself and go, look, I'm going to take a moment and sit back and reflect, because Nettle does make you do that for a moment. It brings you, like you talked about, really into your system.
Yeah.
And then it is a moment for you to go, is that good for me? Like, is that a boundary I need to do now? Do I need to say no? Do I need to take a break? Is that why it's blocking me here for a moment, to have a look and to be very aware? A bit about awareness also.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in the here and now. I think that's it's quite a big theme that we underestimate with that. And it's a theme of the century, of the millennium, I think, for a lot of people we're looking for like spiritual experiences we're looking for them up there and not down here. Because we're already in the be, like in the self, in the being, but we're not here in the here, the here and now is a interesting thing that the Nettle helps us with to come back to the ground, like bring spiritual experiences back to the body. Maybe even if you're like tripping out a little bit too much, like the Nettle can bring you down. And even if it's painful, because the experience in the here and now is full of beauty, but also like what we call negative experiences that feel a little bit uncomfortable. That's part of the experience. And I think the Nettle is a great teacher with that, like to really provide us with that, with the whole picture of life. Yeah. It's an amazing plan for him.
Yeah, I felt like I went a whole step deeper with Nettle. I mean, when you work with herbs for so many years, you work so much with Nettle. It is one that it's always there, that you're working with patients or you're eating it. Food is medicine. It is so abundant that you're using so much of it. But that is something I'd never experienced yet. Or maybe I wasn't ready to see that about Nettle. Really, it is this here and now, and being strong enough, like a warrior, going, it's okay that I'm not in the next moment yet.
Yeah.
Because that's something we're always pushed to be, like thinking always ahead. Yeah. Where do we have to be? What do we have to do? Now I have to do this thing so I can get that job done, or having fear actually of what's going to happen in the future. And I feel like Nettle has taught me not to be fearful of the next steps or in the future, of what the future is going to bring, because you never know.
It's a delusion, yeah.
It's a delusion, and it can take you in one direction all of a sudden. One day there can be a blockage, and then it's not going to work. And I felt like that, really reflecting a lot on my work with this idea of like, and then I always have to be doing something, always have to be pushing something, because you need to make money and you need to like, whatever, get this and that, and you need to create so much more. And it's taught me that actually just do the thing that you're doing right now.
Yeah.
And everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, it's interesting, huh?
Yeah.
And I really find it a theme for a generation, because I see a lot of movements, but in the spiritual movement, there's a new spiritual awakening happening in a way for the people that are like, what does feel good to myself? Like, what is the purpose? Why would I do a job that doesn't feel good in my life? And it is, of course, a very elite decision to be able to think about these things, but we have a chance in life because we have a lot of we are provided with a lot of things, especially in Western Europe, like to ask the questions: what do I actually want to do with my life? Why am I doing this at the moment? Does it really feel good? Is it something that resonates with me? Like all these kind of things that become very natural to the younger generation.
Yeah.
They're saying like, I'm not going to spend my time working for somebody in a 9-to-5 job and like making a shit of money what I even don't like, just to be a part of the system. No, like it's questioning. It's like, where does it lead me? What is my purpose here? And the Nettle really, I think it is a great helper and provider with these kind of informations to deliver you insight, a teacher of like that brings you down with the little pain that you also need sometimes to tell you, yeah, okay, listen again. What do you need to do right now? What's up? What does feel good? Yeah, and it's interesting that we are talking about a plant like the nettle that everybody knows.
And it grows everywhere, all over the world.
Which is like a beautiful sign that it's needed. Whenever there's plenty of a plant, it's mostly needed, yeah? And it's in everybody's garden. It even grows from the piss. It loves the piss. When we pee somewhere, the nettle grows from there, like the amazing energy that lies into that, the fertilizer that it is. Not even, I mean, we use it as fertilizer, like you can like ferment it basically and like put it on your kale and whatever, like plants that need a lot of energy. And
that's the way you refer to kale. On kale, we have to put it on the kale.
On the kale, yeah.
On the veggies.
Give some of the veggies a drink of reduced of that jauche. I don't know what it is in English.
Dünner.
Yeah,
that's the other German word.
And it smells horrible. And there's a saying, was stinkt, das dünkt in German. Like was stinkt, das dünkt. If it's smelling, it's fertilizing.
That's what we use for fertilizer. Exactly. That's Dünner.
And at the same time, it is not a fertilizer for plants, but it's also a fertilizer for our soul, because it helps us to ask the right questions again. What is it that is nourishing me, right? What is it that I need right now? I'm not getting stuck in the future and past, but like be here and listen.
Yeah,
it's an unexpected insight in the depth of that plant for me.
Yeah, as usual.
As usual, yeah.
As usual, it's always the same, isn't it? It's always the same with you, Philly.
Yeah, I wonder, we have been talking for 30 minutes now. There's so much to talk about.
Yeah, no, Nettle. We could do like 5 episodes on Nettle.
Yeah, maybe we will do another one, but now maybe we play a song.
Yeah.
Do you know what I want to play?
What?
Okay, this is from Disney's Frozen 2.
Oh my God, we're doing all children's songs.
And it's called Into the Unknown. The sting of the nettle is a sudden, undeniable summons, a spark that pulls us out of the dreaming and back into the body. In the work of Alexis Gertz, that spark feels like an origin story and a compass alike. You can almost imagine the moment Edible Alchemy stopped being an idea and became a path. Not a single revelation, but a series of small stings of curiosity that wouldn't quiet, jars that kept fermenting on windowsills, wild greens gathered from the edges of forests until the work insisted on being lived, not just explored. There is a warrior spirit in Nettle, not loud but steady. The inner Nettle shows up in the persistence it takes to teach, to hold space, to protect a growing community of curious hands. It lives in the risk of choosing this path fully, of turning a practice into a livelihood, of trusting that others will gather around the table. Yet, even Nettle teaches balance. Fire must be tended. Boundaries, like the plant sting, are not barriers but invitations to approach with respect. In fermentation, as in life, There are moments to welcome the heat, the bubbling jar, the sharp scent of change, and moments to step back to let things transform into their own time. So her praxis feels like this: a dance between edge and ease, between wildness and care, a reminder that what awakens us may also sustain us, and that within each of us lives a small bright nettle ready to sting us into becoming again and again.
Alexis Gortz runs Edible Alchemy, a fermentation education platform based in Berlin. A herbalist, beekeeper, and lifelong learner, she was born in Winnipeg, Canada, and now channels her curiosity through experiments in the Edible Alchemy lab. Alexis leads regular workshops, urban foraging tours, and events that celebrate the art and science of fermentation and wild food. Her first book, 52 Wild Fermenter, it's a German book, brings together her love of fermenting and foraging, guiding readers through 52 weeks of fermenting wild plants to preserve them for the seasons to come. She's currently working on her second book, exploring fermentation techniques from around the world, set to be released in spring 2027. Welcome, Alexis. We're so excited to have you on our show at last.
Yay!
Woo! Jazz hands! We found a lovely plan for you. And as we always do, we jump straight into the questions. Let's go. So the sting of the nettle is known to wake us up from dreaming and bring our projects to life. What was the moment you knew Edible Alchemy was not a little project that you were just tinkering on and became like your life path?
Yeah, that's really a funny time. I feel like I didn't know for a long time, and I had people messaging me saying, this is so cool that it's your thing. And even one guy wrote me and he's like, I'm so happy you found your life path, basically, he said, and your way and your calling. And I was a little bit insulted because I'm like, that's not my calling. Fermentation, just that's my calling. Like, I want to be, I want to be a performer. I want to be a dancer. I want to be a writer. I want to be all these things. I'm not just some fermentation person. And so I was kind of like taken aback by that. But as my work continued and as I was continuing doing workshops and this and that and seeing what an impact it had on people, I'm like, oh, well, maybe it is kind of my thing. There's not so many people out there doing that, at least at that time. That's now 14 years ago. And I realized I was this pioneer in this field of fermentation education and that it was needed. And then I'm like, maybe this is my calling. And so it was like a slow development. And yeah, kind of like with these little stings along the way of like, is this what I'm doing now? Is this what I'm doing now? And then really realizing, no, this is what I'm doing now. And it doesn't mean that I can't be a writer and a performer and an actor, like all these things. It encompasses that as well.
And a dancer. You could be a fermenter dancer.
Yeah, sure.
You could dance fermentation.
Exactly.
A bubbling little bottle.
It's really a long time, that 14 years. So you really have been studying that. You're a pioneer plant. I love that. How does it look now, like when you look around? Because a lot of people are getting into fermentation, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I started, it was basically a couple books out by like Sally Fallon and Sandor Katz, and those were kind of like my Bibles of fermentation. Otherwise, there wasn't really any other material out there. And as I continue, of course, there's a lot of people doing fermentation workshops, and a couple times I've been a little bit, worried that maybe they take me over or something like that. And I kind of realized this old saying, slow and steady wins the race. And I'm constant. I mean, kind of like the nettle. It's underground. It's not being seen sometimes. Doesn't need a whole lot of, show. It doesn't need to be in the forefront necessarily, but it's constant. It's durable. And I feel like that's what Edible Alchemy is for me. It never had investment money. It never had anyone coming in and like trying to push it into the starlight in a way that maybe some bigger companies did. They had money. They had all this power to push something up there. And then I saw how these big things also dissolved really quickly. They were there and then they dissolved. Kind of like not a you would say like a 1-year plant. What do you say?
Like a perennial?
Like a perennial plant. Like, you have like every year plants, that's perennial
like
plant.
That,
and then you have like your 1 year plants where it's just kind of like, it's there and it's gone.
Annual.
An annual plant. Thank you so much. And I feel like Edible Alchemy is a perennial plant. It's something that's coming back every year. It's always there. It's constant. It's kind of alive, even when it doesn't seem like it's necessarily doing much. It's fermenting. It's there. Yeah. And I feel at this point, after 14 years, I'm not worried about, other people coming in and maybe taking the limelight. That's great. I feel like fermentation education, yes. Why not? Everyone should know. Yeah.
And they do now.
And a lot of people know now. And actually, it's a good thing for the business.
Yes.
Because as people know more, then they'll come to other workshops. And now people know what miso is, and they know what water kefir is, or kimchi. Like 14 years ago when I said kimchi workshop and I'm in Germany, nobody came, And now in a German workshop for vegetable fermentation, I'm like, what's your favorite ferment? And 90% of the people are like, kimchi. So there's a lot more knowledge. And I think the more you know, the more you see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. The trend is directly going in that direction,
yeah.
And it's K-pop. I think K-pop adds a lot to that.
Thanks to K-pop, totally.
Yeah. But
I think my work to K-pop.
Thank you, K-pop, yeah.
No, but it's really great. And I see it even with my friends and family that I don't have any interest in wild plants and foraging and herbalism, this kind of way. They are interested in fermentation, even if it's just for baking bread, for doing their own things, like getting back to these old recipes. And it's a very old thing, right? Like fermentation.
Absolutely. It's one of those ancient of days methods that we've been using often for necessity. It's often because of starvation, or we had too much of something, or an accident. Someone decided, they forgot about the grapes and decided to try this crushed up grape mush, and we're like, oh, that makes me feel kind of funny. I like that. And then, wine was developed. Or, they let the grains sit in water, and then they started sprouting, and then, malts and beer was developed. And a lot of accidents happened that also saved lives. Like, again, the beer made the water pure from like rancid water that was there. So people could actually drink beer but couldn't drink the water. And so fermentation saves the day once again. And now again, I feel like it's having a revival where people are realizing I need fermented foods because of the industry has like taken a lot of my microbiome away, because we have an overuse of antibiotics. We have an over consumption of industrialized food products that don't have life in them. Even a lot of the sauerkraut that we're buying isn't alive anymore. It's pasteurized and then sold in cans or bags or whatever. And so we need to start looking again at these living foods and being, aware that bacteria and yeast and mold often of times is actually really good for us. Not all of them, but many of them. In fact, 97% of them are beneficial to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's one of your favorite mistakes then, because that's where fermentation kind of stems from, making mistakes and then go, oh my God, wow, look what this is creating. Do you have like one something that you've tried to maybe create something else and then something else has come from it, or even just an idea has popped from it?
Absolutely. Wow. I have millions, I feel, over this time. I'm thinking recently I was making fermented almonds. I had this big almond project and they wanted me to ferment lots of almonds. So I fermented almonds. And I had this one project that it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. And it was just like, I was trying to make this sort of almond cheese thing, and it was just going in this other direction. And I just couldn't justify throwing away this fermented almond mush at some point. And so I decided to throw it in a bread. And then I had this amazing fluffy bread with a new texture, with something that I think literally has not been made in this lifetime before. It was an almond amazake. For those who are in the fermentation world, amazake is like a koji fermented pudding with enzymes that you heat up at 60 degrees for 6 hours, whatever. And it was with almonds instead of rice. And I threw that in this bread, and it just made this new texture. I'm like, I think I will repeat that. I think I will do this again. And just constantly using things that you think is, let's say, garbage or waste, and if it's still good, if it's still edible in some way, transforming it. And that's what fermentation is for me, is constant transforming and using what's there. And even if it does go to, say, something you don't want to eat, you throw it to your compost worms or to your garden. And that will again be reused, because everything that's around us right now, everything is made from nature. And so if we know how to put that back to nature, then there's this constant cycle. And I think that's what's really exciting for me with fermentation, is this transformation and finding new routes for things. Yeah.
You could even say it's edible alchemy.
It's edible alchemy.
Really?
Good name. Where'd you get that one?
I wonder, you're doing this so many years now. Do you ever get bored of fermentation?
Never. That's like a straight up answer. Never. There's definitely things that are my go-to projects, but then even from there, I want to stem out, like break out and try something new with that. And as I'm continuously learning, I realize there's so much more that I don't know. It's kind of like learning a language, like a second language. You start learning, like, oh, I can do this. I can make sentences and I can make jokes. And then you realize, like, wow, there's this whole other world of language that I don't know yet. I know that I don't know. So there's this unconscious, you say in German, unbewusstes, I have to look this up again. Maybe I'll get back to it later. But you have conscious, can we delete this part of the show?
No, we don't need any parts of the show.
Okay, there's this whole part where you have like conscious awareness. Yeah, that's it. So you have unconscious unawareness, conscious unawareness, unconscious conscious unawareness, conscious unawareness, and then you have unconscious awareness.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
There's all these levels of consciousness.
Yeah. And at some point you start getting to a place where you're doing things unconsciously, but you're doing them with awareness.
Yeah.
And that's where I want to like get to in terms of like fermentation or working with plants, is that you have this unconscious awareness of what's around you.
Yeah.
And at first you'd have an unconscious unawareness, you don't even know what you're doing. And then at some point you realize, no, I do realize I'm doing something wrong. And then you realize at some point, I don't realize that I'm doing, so kind of getting there with my practice. And I feel like that's a lifelong journey with language, with plants, with fermentation.
Yep.
And it's really exciting. So I feel like boredom is not in my vocabulary with fermentation.
Yeah.
Long answer short.
No, it makes a lot of sense. And it humbles us a little bit to stay the student and don't think we actually did understand anything, because there will be always more to learn from. And we were just like in your introduction talking about your new book where you like travel around and talk to people and like get different fermentation techniques. And is this something that is actually so different, like in different countries, using people or different cultures in a completely different way? Or what are the similarities that we find there?
And in terms of fermentation, there's so many different reasons, again, why people ferment. And I think, again, usually beginning as a necessity, as like maybe people are starving or they don't have enough of something, and then they use this one ingredient that they have and transform it into like 10 different things, right? If we only have wheat grains, we're not going to just eat, cooked wheat grains. We're going to make beer, we're going to make bread, we're going to do all sorts, we're going to sprout them, all sorts of different projects. And going around the world, you'll see that people are so inventive with their surroundings. And so with this book of collecting different techniques, I also want to collect them and share them. So it's this whole cross-cultural fermentation where, like, look what they're doing in Japan. How can we take that technique, bring it here to Germany, and do it with our local ingredients? Yeah. And I think it is then different, because here in Germany, people have not been for thousands and thousands of years working with this mold, Aspergillus oryzae or koji, but now they are for the first time. And for the first time, they're able to combine our local beans and lentils instead of soybeans, what they would use in Japan. And they're like, hey, look, this new flavor using our local lentils. And then I've had Japanese people at my miso workshops, and I'm a little bit shy. I'm like, oh, like, are you going to like my miso? It's probably not the same what you're used to. And I've always gotten good feedback, like, you should sell this in Japan. And part of me is like, that's such a compliment. And on the other side, I'm like, I don't need to. It's not about selling for me. It's about sharing the knowledge and the technique. And through that, inventing new flavors. And through that, inventing new techniques from there. And so I see that as like this everlasting technique building, basically.
Yeah, that's
it's
very
about
exciting.
Cultural appreciation.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say the other one. That's
cultural appropriation.
No, yeah. It's all about a cultural appreciation. The more we know, the more we see.
Yes,
and it's a very good
fermentation
point.
is free.
Because, I think it's a good point to have that we can appreciate cultures as well. It doesn't always have to be too negative.
Beautiful. Okay, so we are this episode is actually about the nettle.
Yeah.
We have been talking about the nettle, the manifold use of the nettle, as you can ferment manifold things. Like it's nettle is an amazing plant, a healing plant, and even making clothes or whatever. So we wonder, of course, how you work with the nettle in your work. Is it something that you have been working with? And if yes, if so, how?
Yeah, nettle is definitely one of my favorites. I even went before this interview out to pick some so that my hand was really, it is vibing, it is numbing, it is tingling. And I love working with the nettle also with my raw hands because I feel like I really get in touch with the plant. And when I'm using it in fermentation, I'm using the leaves usually and the seeds, and combining that often in things like flatbreads or sometimes mixing them into like a sauerkraut or something like that. However, nettle as a ferment often tends to get a bit of a stinky smell. And like even sometimes if you brew a tea, you might notice that it has like an off smell, like a bit of, like a manure smell.
Yeah.
And so I don't often use nettle in kombucha. I don't often use it in like in these drink sort of settings. Baking it in bread, yes, absolutely. Making like a pasta sauce, whatever, yeah. And the reason is because nettle goes into this manure thing. It is used as a ferment, not an edible one, but for the garden.
Yeah.
And in German, I don't know if you talked about it before, in German you call it Jauche.
Yeah.
And you just put nettle and water and you stir it for some days, maybe weeks, and it just stinks terribly. And it has so many minerals and so many vitamins, and you put that in your garden.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I also do that, but I don't eat that. I'm sure if you did, it's probably really healthy, but...
Yeah. No, I don't want to go there either. Okay. Yeah, cool. We have been talking about that, and we were looking for the word Jauche in English, but we didn't come up with that.
It's just fertilizer.
Yeah, it's
Nettle do. Yeah,
Nettles,
it's just like a fertilizer for the plants. Okay, in some herbal traditions, nettle is ruled by Mars. We also work with nettle as a Mars plant. It's assertive and resilient and protective. Does this resonate with your kind of fire within your work and how you approach your work? And how do you sustain yourself to keep that fire going so you don't burn it out?
I think it goes back to that area of boredom. I'm always afraid of getting bored and doing the same thing. Like, again, I've been doing this for 14 years. How many hundreds of vegetable fermentation workshops that I've done, or sourdough workshops. And so I feel like for me, it's important to switch things up, and offer new things, write a new book. And now in the last years, I've even trained people to do my work of offering workshops. So I kind of gave that up so I could focus on other paths in Edible Alchemy. And including writing a book or doing more research or traveling to different countries, finding new techniques out. And I think this sting of the nettle is constantly there for me. It's like every day we have these little challenges, right? Even just, okay, what am I going to do today? Do I write that email? Do I talk to this person? All these little things. Okay, I'm making a speech in front of 200 people. all these little challenges. And I feel like those stings of life are invigorating. I really enjoy them. I love that my hand is like numb right now from the nettle. I know some people are like, oh, it's burning and it's so uncomfortable. I'm like, that's just showing that you're alive, you know? And I think that's what it is for me. These constant little stings and prickles of life that feel uncomfortable are also just a sign of you're alive, you're here right now, feel it, deal with it, keep on going, because otherwise you're numb in a different way without feeling. Yeah. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, and it really resonates with what we were talking about before when we were talking about, doesn't it?
Yeah,
when we were talking about, we went down a rabbit hole all of a sudden about talking about what the nettle was doing to us over the weeks. And it is really very similar to what you're saying.
Yeah.
What we were talking.
And using it in a kind of a spiritual way to become present in the here and now. Like it brings you back to the body, you know, like it's exactly what you're doing. Yeah. Happy to hear that we are all having the same experiences.
We encourage you all to go out and rub your hands in some nettle to feel yourself right now.
Roll around in
the best therapy.
You know? If you feel bored, don't know what to do, yes.
If you're feeling pain, go and lay in the nettle.
Yeah. If you don't feel enough pain, do it also.
Yes. Exactly. It's the cure-all.
Yeah. So we know the nettle is a very, as we use it in a therapeutic way also, is like to create people who have to help people to create boundaries who have weak boundaries. We use it in the way of like giving that little sting, not just to the inside to feel alive, but maybe also to protect myself, but coming from the outside. Is this something, or like where do you feel that in your work you need to protect yourself, protect your work, like, and how are you going, or like how is your energy flowing with that sting to the outside?
Yeah, I think boundaries for me have been definitely a topic over the years. And there was, I think, 2 years ago where I'm like, now I'm going to start setting boundaries. Like, now I'm really going to start setting boundaries. And it was like the year of no saying. I don't know if anyone proposed a job to me, they may also resonate with that. She's like, yeah, she also said no to me. And she also said no to me. And it was this year of protecting myself and saying no, because I'm usually a yes sayer. I think that's even how I landed in Berlin, how I went, you know, I lived in Mozambique for a year when I was 18. And like, I just said yes to any opportunity because I feel like I want to experience, I want to know, I want to see. But then at some point I realized I was putting myself too much out there and I was not setting boundaries and I was too open in a way that was hurting myself and not being, you know, maybe not being true to what I wanted to do. And really spreading myself out thin, especially in a business context. I was everywhere doing everything all the time. And so I had this year of no saying. And I think that was also a year where me and the nettle were very much connecting. And I'm like, no, I can say no. Even sometimes I thought like, oh, this is a cool job. I still was like, no. And then after that, sort of finding the balance between saying yes and saying no and really listening to those boundaries in me is this something worth doing for myself? Do I have enough energy for this? Is the organization something reputable? Do I believe in what they're sharing? Do I want to share my knowledge with them? Yeah. And so I think that has been something that boundaries in general, a huge topic in my life. Yeah. Especially I feel like a people pleaser type of person, you know? Now I'm not as much of a people pleaser, but
it's good. It's healthy. Yeah.
It's more of the nettle.
Yeah.
If you were a ferment, which one would you be?
Oof.
What's the first one that pops into your head? It's a very difficult question.
It is really.
It just came to me then. I was just like, what would I be if I was going to be a ferment? What would you be, Philly?
I have no clue about fermentation, I have to say.
Oh,
I'm not so deep into that because I cannot use my hands so well with these kind of things.
Oh, you pull
my poor artist hands. They're not meant for hard work.
A little aristocratic hand.
Exactly, yes. So I don't do it myself so often. Yeah. Kimchi. No.
Yeah, why not? Spicy.
I don't like it too much.
No.
Sometimes.
I like it.
Just be it.
Yeah, it is a difficult question.
I wonder, what about you?
I think at this point right now, I would be a wild soda.
Yeah.
But I think it would always change. I just thought, it just came into my mind, like when people always often ask, you know, us if we're getting into it, someone's talking to us, that's always that question, what would you be if you were a plant? And it's always such a difficult question.
Yeah, I also thought a water kefir or a wild soda, just because there's a lot of life in there. It's constantly changing and bubbling. It can explode. You know, you pop the
When
top.
the boundaries get pushed,
And
remember that.
It doesn't always mean a bad thing. Exploding can also be exciting. You know, it doesn't mean danger or anger. It can also just mean like, boom, I'm so excited. I can't contain myself. I need to jump up and down. Can also be tears. You know, it's kind of hyperbolic sometimes. Is like, is it doing anything or is it doing a lot? Yeah, I was thinking sort of something vivacious, effervescent, and bubbling. Yeah.
And they create such gorgeous colors.
Yeah.
So nice. I mean, look at this.
The seabuck thorn water kefir.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very young.
I wonder, since Tash and I were talking a lot about herbalism and the natural paths and like health is a big topic in our life. Through your work with the fermentation over the years, did you feel like your body, your immune system was changing? Do you see it with working with clients of yours that maybe come over a certain amount of time and like bring fermentation to their life, that their health is changing? How did you experience that in this big amount of time that you spend in fermentation?
Yeah, a lot of amazing testimonials over the years. Like I think this is also what keeps me going. Because I just keep getting amazing feedback that people feel healed, their guts are healed, their immune systems are stronger. I've heard of people's arthritis healing, and sharing this word and getting this feedback constantly is just affirmation that fermentation is, and it, like basically gut health is so important to our overall health. And for me personally, doing this for so many years, I've noticed mainly when I don't have fermented foods anymore, because I am eating them on a daily basis, eating and drinking. And then if I go on a travel, let's say I'm going to the States or something, and I don't have like, you know, sauerkraut in my backpack or something like that, I notice my whole digestive system is thrown off kilter, and then my mood starts getting a bit sour, and then, you know, things aren't working properly. And so I noticed, because I'm so in this world, that when I don't have it, that things are not so great. But because of all of these feedbacks from people, I really, truly, strongly believe that, you know, the gut-brain connection is a thing. And when I started this business, people thought it was some hippy-dippy stuff. They're like, oh yeah, your gut and your brain are connected, ha, ha, ha. And now they even have sort of a saying for it, the gut-brain axis. Yeah. And that is now a well-known fact. And the first podcast that I did for this 14 years ago, they were laughing at me and my friend Natalie, who we started the business together, and they were making jokes about how funny we were to think these things, and that there was bacteria in our gut that were good. And now it's well-known fact that, yeah, bacteria are mainly good. And so I think the whole knowledge about gut health has really exploded, because the last years we've been focusing, you know, last 15, 20 years have been focusing on the heart and on the brain and leaving this taboo theme of digestion out of it. And meanwhile, that is such a center, like a core to our overall being, how we are functioning and who we are and how we perceive the world and what our moods are. And toy. My health is very good for a very long time. I don't know if I ever got corona. I could have, didn't notice it, sort of thing. And I do definitely believe that the whole eating well and being well has been contributing to my health. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
So you have, just on the traveling bit, because you did with the sauerkraut and the rucksack, you also do this like project within the project of the microbial circus.
Yes.
Which is when you're traveling and then you take the ferments with you. Could you just off the top of your head tell people like the 5 top ferments that you're always, or the 3 top ferments that you're always carrying with you? And are you drying it and carrying it with you, or how are you getting it through customs, coming from someone from Australia where it's really hard to get things anywhere? Just a quick note on that.
Great. Yeah. So the microbial circus, in my backpack, in terms of cultures, I always have Cornelius the sourdough with me, in dried form, like on a handkerchief, or and also a fresh version, just in case he gets taken away in one form or the other. And if I'm just traveling with a backpack, 100 milliliter jar is enough. And that's because through bacterial proliferation, you get to your destination place and then you feed him and boof, you have then 200 grams or whatever you need. And then I'm also carrying Harrys. I name them Harrys because they're not hairy and they are plural, the water kefir crystals. And they come with me also dried and also fresh. And they have been taken away once in their fresh form at customs because they looked like a liquid. I said it was my oatmeal. They said it doesn't look like oatmeal and took it away. And then I'm usually carrying either milk kefir or a variant of a yogurt culture with me. Maybe something like mazzoni, which is a Georgian yogurt culture, or fiemjölk, which is like a Swedish yogurt culture. And that comes, again, in a dry and a fresh form. And in fresh, I've had customs, again, look at these 100 milliliter jars and ask, what is that? And I said, face cream. And they said, well, show us. So I rubbed some yogurt on my face. I mean, it can't do us any wrong. I think it probably it could work just like that as well. And of course, I try to take a kombucha SCOBY, and that doesn't really work in dry form. So it comes in a fresh form. And then when I arrive at the place, I have to feed it as soon as possible. And then often also tempeh spores or koji spores. And those do look like precarious little drug bags because they're nice little white powders in bags. But so far, it hasn't been a problem. Usually labeling everything is a good idea. When I went to Australia and New Zealand, I almost got charged $40,000 and I had to throw a lot of them out and call back home and be like, please ship my backup cultures, which I had prepared, to Germany because I was traveling towards Germany at that time. So there have been a couple run-throughs, but at the same time, I've also met people. I think there's the old Tegel airport in Berlin was like visiting grandma's place, and they knew Cornelius the sourdough. They knew he was coming through. They're like, he was a regular visitor at the airport. But yeah, I have 2 articles on the website about bacterial smuggling if you want to know how to do that. It's kind of a jokey article. It's not super serious, but how do you get through customs with, cultures and transfer things around the world? Because we are doing this anyways with plants. And I know a lot of people have a thing against neophytes, the plants that are new here. But in the end, aren't we all a little bit like that? Look, I'm a Canadian in Germany. You're also Australian here in Germany. We are constantly transferring knowledge. This is a whole nother topic and a whole nother debate whether, plants are invasive and stuff like that. But I think sharing these cultures and these bacterial cultures only has a benefit in my personal eyes. Yeah.
Also, the environment has been changing for thousands of years, and at some point a plant that is now invasive was not invasive at some point. So I agree with you. I'm always a bit there are some, of course, and there are some things, but yeah, I think, yeah.
In the end, they're doing what they do, right? So like the Japanese knotweed, it's considered very invasive, and I see why, and it's pushing other plants out. But at the same time, if you ask that plant personally, if you could, what's up? I don't think it would be malicious and be like, I want to take everybody over. Things like, well, I clearly, work here with the environment, and I'm here to spread, and I'm doing my job.
Probably like Lyme's is getting worse, so now I'm here to treat the people.
Yeah. And it has been carried through all the ice ages before, and we have been like carrying plants before. So yeah,
we're all immigrants.
It doesn't make sense exactly.
Yeah. We're probably going to get a lot of backlash for this, but bring it on.
Bring it on.
So we always ask, because we're kind of coming to the end, we always ask the last question.
Is there something that you want to share with the audience?
Something that I'd love to share with the audience. Can it be like
a little piece of knowledge, a poem? A saying,
an insight,
could be a sound,
an invitation,
sound,
a chance, even.
Yeah, I would say, like I said in the show, the more you know, the more you see. And if you want to see more, let's say in your city, learn. Go out with a herbalist or a foraging walk and start understanding your city in a new way. Because then suddenly things don't just look green. They are suddenly medicine and salad and food and poison even. And I think it's really important to start looking at your surroundings in a new way, especially in a city, because I think a lot of people disassociate plants and city culture. And actually there's so many plants, especially in Berlin, there's so many plants. And if you start looking at the city in a green way, it transforms your relationship with it. So I highly encourage you to do that. Yeah.
Very good advice.
Beautiful.
Yeah. You bought a song for us. Do you remember what it was?
Oh, Diamond Day by Vashti Bunyan.
Yes. So we'll be playing this after. And do you have a question? Another question?
No more questions. Just thank you for the conversation, sharing your insights and your knowledge and experience. I think it's very important to put it out there even more and more. And the trend is going into a beautiful direction. So let's hope this continues. And we all become more aware of our surroundings and not excluding ourselves from nature, whatever that might be.
Yeah.
It's us. Yeah.
Sure. If people want to get more into the world of wild plants and fermentation, I did write a book about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's called 52 Seasons, or it should be called 52 Seasons, but it's called 52 wilde Fermente. It's in German only at this point, but you can go through all of the weeks in the year and find something to forage and ferment through that. And that's a really great way to get in touch with your city.
Beautiful. We will provide all the links in the show notes. So you can guys just find it there, find Alexis, find the Edible Alchemy Academy School.
Yeah, there's also the Edible Alchemy Academy.
Yes, online, offline, in person. You can find lots of talks. We'll put it all in the show notes.
Yeah, come out, check it out.
Lots of workshops coming up.
Cool.
That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
And now,
it is
the favorite part
of everybody's
in our episodes.
It is
recipe time.
Time. So, Tash, you are the Nettle Queen, the recipe queen, but you are my favorite nettle chef in the world.
Oh, thank you.
I love what you're doing with nettle because you make it taste like chicken broth, which is crazy. I think like what you get out of a nettle, I don't even dare to dream about.
I feel like it's I call it a little bit the inland seaweed. So it's kind of got these aspects to it, I feel like. Maybe that's the chickeny flavor, this umami kind of flavor that you get out of it. We're just going to do a super simple recipe. It's which you can eat with eggs. You can put it in eggs. That's a really easy way of doing it, but that's not the recipe we're going to do. The recipe is you get an onion and a bit of garlic and the nettle. You could also collect cleavers. They're growing always right near nettles, but you can do it also just with nettles. Get them, especially at this time of year. Chop up some onion, fry it a little bit, throw a little bit of garlic in there, throw your nettles in there, of course a bit of olive oil before the frying, and just for a little while then throw the nettles in, and then you add a dash of soy sauce. And then you just let it simmer for a little bit, just a little moment until the nettles, they look like, they're kind of that greeny sort of spinachy look. And then it's done, and it's really good on toast with eggs. If you're a vegan, it's also very good on toast without eggs. And I love it with underneath, I don't know, like a cream cheese and not a cream cheese, but I like it with the cream cheese and then that on top and then just on the toast. And it's so nourishing. It feels like one of those really spring foods that you can just eat every morning. You could eat every morning as a little detox thing.
Yeah, and it
for like
tastes
a week
amazing,
or 2 weeks.
yeah.
And it has there's such this umami flavor in there.
So do you use the fresh nettle or you use
I use
dried
fresh.
nettle? You use it fresh.
Yeah, the fresh one actually is very good in winter when you're cooking rice. So I put it or in stews and stuff. I just put a handful of it and throw it in the stews, and it gives it that really umami flavor. now you could do pestos.
You could even do pasta. In Italy,
Yes.
they use the fresh nettle to put it into the pasta dough.
Yeah.
And you have like this green pasta coming up, which is also really amazing.
Yeah, there's so many great nettle recipes out there. People use it to brew beer. There's a really good nettle beer. Also, I made a nettle mead once. That was amazing. Yeah, but it's really good with fats. Spinach is a bit like that, though. When you mix it with the fat, that's why with the eggs or the oils and stuff, it brings out this flavor. So that's kind of how I generally eat it. And then in the eggs, what I always used to make.
I'm going to do. Once we're done with the podcast here, we're recording around noon and I'm getting hungry. So I will get home and make myself some nice nettle eggs.
Oh, a little nettle scrambled egg.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that sounds yum. A little feta in there.
What's happening in your life at the moment? Any invitations for our audience?
Oh, I'm a nervous wreck. No. We're now going into a therapy session. No, I'm not a nervous wreck at all.
How does it make you feel?
How do you see yourself there? Where do you know that from? Which parent triggered you in that? Oh, look, the nettle's making us crazy. What have I got? Yeah, the herbal course is open for registrations.
Starting September.
Starting September on the autumn equinox. It's starting on the 20th, if I remember rightly, or 21st. But it's open for registration. You can contact me. There's limited spots. There's also quite a few already gone. So get in there, write to me. And yeah, that's all at this present time. And the praxis, but we both have the praxis.
I have a lot more going on.
Yeah, he has a lot more going on. I got the herbal course at the moment. I've got some background stuff going on, which I think I'll share in the next
Maybe we can talk about some things that we're planning together, which are not out yet. But first of all, if you want information of what's going on all the time, just register our newsletter. You can find it on Avantgarde Live or hp-physis.de in the show notes. You can register to the newsletters. Then you see what's happening every month. And Herby at Heart is going to provide you with a beautiful new website soon.
We're taking the next step.
And we are planning some walking tours this year. So foraging tours with me, Tash and I together, which is going to be amazing. We're also going to plan some other very beautiful things like... maybe we can give a little bit of teaser, like plant provings that we want to do with you, and we meet in a small group.
You out there. You and us.
If you're interested to like try some plants with us and really dive deep with the spirit, with the deva, with the idea of the plant, that's something we want to offer you. I think it's going to be small groups because it needs to be like a kind of a private atmosphere and not too big. And the rest will be coming out mid-year later, but these are the things we can tease already. I'd say,
There's lots to come now.
And for me, I have my course going for archetypes in homeopathy. If you're interested in that, that's a big thing at the moment at the Matthias Berner Academy. Also, there's a summit happening.
That's in German, your thing, isn't it?
It's in German.
So all you Germans out there that all speak German, this is a good opportunity to listen to Philip and his amazing work in homeopathy. And the summit?
So the summit is actually, we are recording this before the summit. So the summit will be over already. But from the 23rd to 26th of April, there's going to be a summit.
Okay.
And it's called Living Homeopathy. And there most definitely will be opportunities to look at the videos, and I'm interviewing homeopaths from all around the world that are really like in the scene for decades already. They're really experienced healers, and also some of my colleagues. And I really recommend you to look into that. If you're into homeopathy, there will be English interviews as well, not just, but there will be some English interviews that are very, very interesting. It's not just homeopathy, it's about healing as well, but mostly it's homeopathy for amateurs and professionals for deep insight on how this beautiful art is actually working and what kind of miracles it can do to things that you couldn't even imagine. Honestly, like healing.
Sorry, miracles.
Yeah, like working on genetic diseases and something like that.
We're Christians.
Miracles are not something Christian, right?
I know, it just sounds...
Okay. Listen. Okay. No, I find it really fascinating, amazing, especially
some
like
amazing people you've
healers from
interviewed as
India.
well.
That was
Yeah.
very, very cool. And
Can people listen to it later, or is it only in those days?
it's in these States, it's for free, and later I think it will be provided for a small amount of money. But yeah, maybe we can post something about it before and you can listen to it. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we can put a quick little thing. I do have actually one thing, a little teaser as well. It's not quite out yet, but I will be starting. So if you're interested, you can write me an email. Flint has a supervision group. Flint is in business. So supporting Flinters around, for all you English speakers who don't know what that is, that's anyone who associates as a female. And we will be exploring the world of business, and supporting you through that, through supervision, through all the things that may arise while you're exploring the world of business. That's kind of coming up in the next months.
Yeah.
So,
beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. As always, find us at Mommsenstraße 55 if you're looking for one-on-one sessions. It's quite full, but if you have some time, like there will be free dates in a month or a few weeks or something. So hit us up. And I think that's it. We have been talking a lot. We had an amazing interview. We love the Nettle. I didn't expect to dive that deep with that kind of plant. Like I knew about the possibilities, but I didn't know. So, as always,
Herby at heart,
herbal by nature.